Hi everyone and welcome to 2025 and the introduction of our new version of Clinimetrix. So Clinimetrix 3 is what you're now looking at. This is a brand new interface, brand new inquiry tools, brand new look and feel, more detail, more information, faster access to the depth of data and the ability to do greater clinical and financial extracts than you've ever seen before. And even in doing all of that, we've now compressed the number of sheets and the tools that you use down to just 8 sheets. So these last two here are going to be rolled up into other tools, but I'll explain how they work as we go along. When we launch now, we launch straight into QuickView. For those of you that have used Clinimetrix before, you'll know that this is kind of the recommended starting point. It gives you a good indication of where your financial metrics are going to be and what's going on inside the business. We're looking at here is our demo deck. So for those of you that have seen demos before, you'll also know some of this data is a little flaky, and we will discuss that as we go through it, should that be the case. And I also explain how each of these tools is going to work. So a few things have changed in the QuickView reporting. I'll just change the date profile here for a second. What you're looking at here now is changes to the way the reporting works. From a comparison standpoint, you're now looking at the like-for-likes year on year for financials, like-for-likes year on year for invoices, and also a like-for-like year on year for average patient bill, instead of having to do that kind of intuitively through the changes in invoicing and fees generated. You'll also note on the left-hand side, I'm just clicking around, some of the data is changing quite quickly, and it's now because we've changed the period controls. So we now have quick period controls. You can just click on yesterday, week to date, last week, month to date, and so on. Of course, we still also have all of the other controls that you would expect from Clinimetrix here and also over here on the chart. Look at dates and just see what's going on this month so far, and we can also see what happened last month in the demo solution. So you can see that there's changes to the business in this model, but the good news is that average patient bill is growing. The bulk bill ratios are dropping, so private billing's increased, and revenue per hours are now sitting here in a much higher profile position than they were before. Below, you'll see some major changes to the way that Clinimetrix works. So now, rather than having to bounce around sheets, when it's now tabbing in key sheets. So you've got a whole bunch of data available to you here for doctor item, patient, work cover codes, locations, and so on. You can also look at all the revenue modelling as well. So if I want to average patient bill by doctor, I can do that here just by clicking on it really quick. Same with invoice volumes. You'll see over here on the right hand side that is also changing, and we're looking at all of the timing controls, so hour, day, date, and so on, as we've known in the past, but now much more readily accessible and much clearer presentation of the data too. You'll see here that we've got three other tabs, 4 tabs in total. So you can just now select those tabs. This gives us our details for billing profiles by doctor, so bulk billing versus privates. You can do it by weekday and calendar year on the right-hand side. We have full tables of that, as we've had in the past. And you can look at it by doctor name, patient, MBS item, and so on. So we want to see how any particular item is changing. We've also got a clear visual indicator here as well. So now red is negative, green is positive. So things are either going in the right or wrong direction. So a really quick and simple way of glancing at the data and making calls on what's going on. And then the last one we now have improved quite dramatically is our scatter charting. So now you've got controls of the scatter charting. You can not only do doctor name, you can do MBS item, work code, and so on, but you also can now compare invoice volumes against fees. So it's a little more logical structure in this one. So we have invoices on the left, and fees on the bottom, but I can also do it against average patient bill. I can do it against revenue per hour consult, and so on and so on. So now you've got a really, really quick way of glancing at the data and getting access to the information about your billing profiles of practitioners or your patients almost instantaneously. And that's for any period in your system, of course, really quickly accessible for everything here. Now, this is just quick view. This is just our landing page for large scale metrics of the business. But inside the new Clinimetrix, we now have a full financial dashboard control, which includes all of the previous data. We have a combination of clinical dashboarding, so tests, chronic disease management, OBS, scripting, and so on, all available inside the clinical dashboard, all really quickly. Our new contractor payment tool has been completely rebuilt and completely re-engineered. So now you can get access to instant practitioner payments, irrespective of the nature of your practice, whether you're in Queensland or whether there's trust structures available, whether you're using multi-week services, whether you use a direct deposit system. All of the exports are now designed around really quickly uploading into your financial reporting package. And of course, we also do all the banking mapping, so for every transaction that occurs, all now in one simple and easy to find place. Our patient detail reporting has been updated to now make it simpler and easier to find things by moving through the tabs. You now can actually just quickly get access to the information without having to chase through large tables. Much, much faster way of getting the detail you need across all of your patient cohorts. The patient cohort analysis is a tool that we will do much, much more detail in. This now allows you to set and control multiple layers of patient morbidities, billing types, medications, correspondence, pretty much everything, and layer that without having to go through multiple sheets to bounce back and forward. It is super quick, super easy to use, and a really, really powerful part of Clinimetrix that no other software has in the market. CMX Plus continues and will be growing as we add new macros and new tools. We're bringing in a new diagnostics comparison system for benchmarking your practice. That'll be available throughout 2025. And we now have a complete new do-it-yourself reporting system where you can literally just select the tools you want by practitioner and see the data be built as you progress. And you can also add in secondary dimensions if you want. So I'm now looking at all the time in terms of controls, but I might just want to look at month-year data, and now I can go in here and select any portion of that data that I want. So that may be March of 24, and that'll give me all of that data instantaneously. But of course, I can also change the design of that because it's a pivot table as well. So I can move and build my own reporting now through a huge amount of selectable fields to work with. Even things as simple as how many patients have been seen by a doctor and how many observations have been recorded against that patient cohort over any period of time, which is one we were playing around with the other day. Lots and lots of ways to use this data now, and again, all self-buildable in the same way that the patient cohort analysis is. This is a quick overview of the new version of Clinimetrix. I hope you find that really interesting. We will have lots more to show you over the coming videos. Please touch base with us if you've got any queries.